The mysterious death of Ellen Greenberg is a perplexing and controversial case that has captured public attention and sparked debate within legal and medical communities. Ellen Greenberg was a 27-year-old first-grade teacher living in Philadelphia whose tragic and untimely death on January 26, 2011 was initially ruled a suicide despite peculiar and conflicting evidence suggesting otherwise. She was found dead in her apartment with more than 20 stab wounds, including several to the back of her head, a scenario that raised immediate questions about the feasibility of self-infliction. The significance of introducing the case lies in the complexities and contradictions surrounding the investigation and the quest for justice in cases of questionable death. The Greenberg case highlights potential oversights in forensic investigations and the challenges of navigating ambiguous evidence, which can have profound implications for the families involved and for broader societal trust in legal and investigative institutions. One illustrative point is the initial ruling of suicide, which faced backlash from forensic experts and Ellen's family, who argued the improbability of the physical evidence aligning with such a conclusion. Another real-world example is the reclassification attempt by her family, who have continuously campaigned for the case to be reopened and re-examined as a homicide, citing concerns like the lack of defensive wounds typical in suicide cases involving assault weapon injuries. Opinions supporting the family's perspective often focus on the need for rigorous and transparent investigative processes. Experts in the field have pointed out inconsistencies in the autopsy report and the crime scene investigation, advocating for unbiased reevaluations in cases where initial findings are disputed. However, this case is fraught with challenges and controversies, particularly around the integrity of the initial investigation and potential biases that may influence autopsy conclusions. Alternative viewpoints suggest that, absent definitive evidence, such investigations can lead to subjective interpretations, causing further distress to the deceased's family. The introduction to Ellen Greenberg's case is pivotal as it sets the stage for exploring themes of justice, forensic science, and the emotional and societal ramifications of unresolved or mishandled death investigations. It influences other aspects of the main topic by underscoring the need for improved protocols and methods in death inquiries and the ethical obligations to serve truth and closure for affected families. This case exemplifies the broader struggles within criminal justice systems when faced with enigmatic and complex death scenarios. In the context of Ellen Greenberg's case, these findings are crucial because they form the basis of understanding what might have happened, leading to her untimely death. The significance of these findings lies in their potential to either confirm or contradict initial reports and assumptions. In Greenberg's case, the autopsy initially ruled her death a homicide due to stab wounds, but was later controversially changed to suicide. This shift has fueled ongoing debate and skepticism, underlining the importance of objective and thorough forensic analysis. A notable example is the discussion centered around the knife wounds. Experts have argued over the feasibility of certain injuries being self-inflicted. In another real-world case, the death of Rebecca Zahau also raised similar questions, where the autopsy findings were contested, leading to substantial public and legal scrutiny. Supporting opinions often emerge from forensic pathologists and legal experts who emphasize the need for clear, unbiased autopsy reports. They argue that any ambiguity or perceived incompetence can undermine the justice process and erode public trust. However, potential challenges arise from the interpretation of forensic evidence, which can be subjective and influenced by various factors, including legal, political, and procedural pressures. Alternative viewpoints question the competence and motives behind the changes in autopsy conclusions. Critics argue that institutional bias or external influences can skew results, misinforming investigations, and in some cases, protecting individuals or entities at the cost of obscuring the truth. This aspect of the investigation connects to larger discussions on systemic issues within forensic science, such as the need for reform and standardization. The controversies in Greenberg's autopsy findings resonate with these issues, highlighting the need for transparent and meticulous forensic practices. They serve as a reminder of the profound impact forensic conclusions can have not only on individual cases but also on public perceptions of the justice system. Understanding these dynamics is essential for comprehensively exploring the mysterious circumstances surrounding Ellen Greenberg's death. The timeline of events leading to her death is a crucial element in unraveling the mystery surrounding Ellen Greenberg's death, a case that has captured public attention due to its perplexing circumstances and the lingering questions about whether it was a suicide or homicide. This timeline serves as a chronological framework that maps out the sequence of occurrences, providing essential context for understanding the factors that might have contributed to her untimely demise. By delineating each event, investigators and the public can piece together a more coherent narrative that seeks to explain the tumultuous path leading to her death. The significance of this timeline lies in its ability to illuminate potential motives, uncover inconsistencies, and identify critical moments that may have influenced the fate of Ellen Greenberg. As it highlights key interactions, changes in behavior, and significant decisions, the timeline functions as both a tool for analysis and a catalyst for further investigation. It allows for a detailed examination of events, which can potentially reveal overlooked details or new leads in the case. One example of how timelines are applied is in criminal investigations, where detectives use them to reconstruct events and establish alibis, or discrepancies in statements. Another example is in legal proceedings, where timelines help organize evidence in a clear, logical fashion to persuade a judge or jury. In Ellen Greenberg's case, the timeline can aid in contrasting the initial ruling of suicide with emerging evidence suggesting foul play, such as multiple stab wounds and locked door scenarios. Supporters of thorough timelines argue that their structured nature is invaluable in navigating complex cases like Greenberg's, where details matter immensely. However, challenges arise in constructing accurate timelines due to potential alterations in witness testimonies, gaps in available information, or deliberate misinformation. Controversies may exist over the interpretation of events, with alternative viewpoints suggesting that the timeline either supports or refutes the possibility of external involvement in her death. Ultimately, the timeline of events leading to Ellen Greenberg's death is intrinsically linked to broader aspects of the case, such as forensic findings and psychological evaluations. It acts as a connective thread that weaves together the disparate pieces of her life and death, offering a narrative structure that is essential for unraveling the truth. By understanding the sequence of her final days, we gain valuable insights into the mysterious circumstances that continue to baffle investigators and the public alike. The heading "Autopsy Findings" in the context of the mysterious death of Ellen Greenberg invites a deep dive into the medical examination results that are pivotal in understanding the surrounding circumstances of her death. An autopsy is a thorough post-mortem examination performed by a qualified pathologist to determine the cause of death and any disease or injury that may have contributed. In Ellen Greenberg's case, the autopsy findings hold significant importance as they serve as the cornerstone of the ongoing debate about whether her death was a suicide or homicide. Understanding these findings is crucial because they directly influence legal investigations and public perceptions, often being a definitive voice in mysterious death cases, steering the narrative toward either suspicion or closure. In real-world applications, autopsies have been instrumental in cases like that of George Floyd, where findings helped establish cause of death, contributing to critical social justice discourse. Similarly, in the case of Brittany Murphy, her autopsy provided crucial insights amidst swirling rumors and ambiguity. These examples illustrate how autopsy findings can offer clarity or, conversely, can complicate narratives when findings are inconclusive or contested, as in Greenberg's case. Opinions supporting the vital role of autopsies often emphasize their objective nature in providing scientific evidence in death investigations. They are seen as an unbiased source of truth, capable of revealing facts that might not be evident through circumstantial evidence alone. However, challenges arise when discrepancies occur between autopsy findings and other investigative elements. In Ellen Greenberg's case, despite the autopsy revealing 20 stab wounds, including 10 to the back of her neck, her death was initially ruled a suicide, sparking controversy and public outcry. Alternative viewpoints often revolve around the interpretation of findings and the potential for human error or bias. Some critics argue that forensic pathology isn't immune, to mistakes and external pressures can sometimes influence final determinations. Moreover, in cases with high public interest, media and public opinion can skew perceptions and apply undue pressure on forensic conclusions. The autopsy findings in Ellen Greenberg's case intricately connect to other